Now the tigers got their name, Waracaba, because they sound like a bird that the local folks call the Waracaba. And the Waracaba sounds, well, in English it would be called a gray-winged trumpeter. And this is what it sounds like. The gray-winged trumpeter makes two kinds of sounds. The sound that you're hearing now is their normal sound, intended to keep the flock together and let them know where all the individuals are. But the gray-winged trumpeter is kept as a domesticated bird and as a watchdog, if you will. And it will give an alarm if anything untoward is happening. This is the alarm. Now I want you to compare that to something else, and that's bush dogs. Bush dogs were virtually unknown at this time. As a matter of fact, the first time that scientists ever identified them, they were identified from fossils that were found back in caves, and the Western scientists all believed that those bush dogs were extinct. In fact, the locals knew they weren't extinct, and occasionally they used them for domesticated dogs. These dogs do run in packs, and they are very seldom seen, and they make a sound like this. Now, the Waracaba, that is the bird, and the bush dogs sound remarkably similar. However, who would mistake a bush dog for a tiger? For that matter, who would mistake the bush dog's sounds for a diabolical scream or anything else that they were talking about almost? For example, the bush dogs have webbed feet, and they are not afraid of water, although some of the other traits that are assigned to the Waracaba Tigers do match them. Incidentally, these bush dogs happen to be in the Little Rock Zoo. The Little Rock Zoo is one of 7 zoos in the United States that has them, and they're pretty much going out of style. In any event, let us get up to speed on just exactly what a bush dog really is.
An elusive canid stalks the forests between Panama and northern Argentina. This jungle specialist is a world champion in hide and seek, a species so rare that it was thought to be extinct. But in fact, bush dogs are still here, and they're far from ordinary. But what exactly makes bush dogs so different to other dogs? The bush dog is one of the smallest members of the Canidae family. which also includes dogs, wolves, jackals, foxes, and many more. It's about the size of a Scottish terrier, but looks more like a rust-colored wolverine, with the muzzle of a bear, the webbed feet of an otter, and a bizarre-looking tail. The wild dog doesn't look like an average canid. Its shape makes it uniquely adapted for life on the forest floor, while its webbed feet make it a strong swimmer. In fact, bush dogs are almost amphibious. They prefer to live near water, such as rivers and swamps, especially in South America and parts of Panama and Costa Rica. But even in their favorite habitat, these hunters are rarely glimpsed. Paleontologists assumed the creatures were long extinct until living packs were found many years later. Due to the fact that they're so rare, very little is known about their life. What scientists do know is that they are highly social and hate being left alone. They spend nearly all their time in tight-knit family groups of up to 12 animals, and they hunt as a team, joining forces to catch and kill everything from birds and lizards to larger prey such as deer and capybaras. In every group, there are an alpha male and female that lead the pack. They are the only ones that breed in this society. The alpha pair mark their ownership of this piece of forest. Their urine smells strongly of vinegar, and this has given the diminutive dogs their other name, vinegar hounds. The message is clear. This is their hunting ground. Bush dogs have shown that teamwork and intelligence are the best way to secure a good meal. When they're out hunting, the group will divide into two teams. One half will wait in the water, while the other half chases the animal on land. This time, the wild dogs are after coatis. The pack is fast, but today, the prey is even faster and flees into the trees. Only few videos of this hunting behavior exist. Bush dogs seem to have an uncanny ability to avoid humans and even their cameras. The little ninjas are so rare that even with hundreds of camera traps taking thousands of photos, scientists feel lucky to get even one successful shot. But their elusive behavior may be one reason why bush dogs have managed to persevere in numerous habitats.
These are the most adorable animals that you've never heard of. At the Little Rock Zoo, I had a conversation with the bush dog keeper, and she told me all kinds of interesting things.
You ready? We have a male and a female. They're both geriatric. They're both very old.
Yeah.
So they both got some cataracts.
As I understand it, the dogs only live about 10 years.
Yes, our male's 11. So he's maybe got a year left, but showing his age. Oops.
And he was in hospital not long ago, wasn't he?
He was in the hospital. Our female was actually in the hospital yesterday. So she's on the mend.
You got names, do they?
Obi's our male, and our female is Selva. She actually came from France to be part of our breeding population here in the U.S. Unfortunately, she has only had one stillborn. She hasn't had any successful pups. So the population here in the U.S. is slowly but surely dying out. They're not a very popular species. They're not very common. So as they age and pass away, we're not importing any more individuals. So eventually you will not see bush dogs in the U.S. zoos anymore. Can you see their webbing? It's not super prominent like an otter's. It's not quite as, it doesn't go quite as far down on the toes.
Yeah, it's about half.
Mm-hmm. But they do really like the water. They'll splash. Sometimes we'll throw their food in there, give them live fish or ice treats, and they enjoy. What are you doing?
Sharpening his teeth.
I don't have many teeth left. Come on, old man. And he was actually born here. He came from San Antonio. He still lived with his two brothers, which groups of males is very unusual. Normally it's one male, one female, and their kids. But he, for whatever reason, got along with his brothers till he came here. Yeah, you have to wait for your food. But they're very smart. They're trained so we don't physically go in the same space with them. There's always a barrier between us and them, so they're trained to stand up so we can see their stomachs really well. They're trained to lay down. They're trained for nail trim so we can get their nails trimmed if they need it.
Yeah, I can tell they're blunted.
Mm-hmm. I just threw one. You didn't see it.
But let's now return to the question of, are the bush dogs the Waracaba Tigers? And initially, the answer is no, because after all, they're not felines. But ignoring that, do they otherwise fit the description? And the answer, once again, is not entirely. After all, the bush dogs like water. But the Waracaba Tigers, one of their main characteristics is that they hate water. Well, those two are very much in conflict. But in addition to that, the Waracaba Tigers have a blood-curdling scream. It's difficult to think of anything that the bush dogs do as a blood-curdling scream. Oh, and by the way, bush dogs in some parts of South America are called zorro, which means fox. And the reason is they are canid and they have that reddish color, which reminds the locals of a fox.
sleeping.
Let's keep the milk coming on that one.
Ah, now that is a very big rat.
No. This is a bush dog.
A bush dog?
She was sent to us from the West Berlin Zoo, and they received her from South America. And they're an endangered species. And
Can you hear it?
Hunt in packs. Hey, you would talk? You a good girl, huh? You good?
Aww.
Huh? Oh, she loves people. Huh?
A bush dog.
They're not too commonly found in zoos. We've raised about 12 of them. You want to hold her?
Sure.
She likes you to hold her on her back and rub her belly.
Well, so do I.
I'm in room 607. Look at this, going to sleep. A bush dog and me one day, home down the trail. Came upon an old bush dog and fed him hair and tail. Is he dead? What is he?